King and Queen of the Ring are set. Cody Rhodes defended his title against Logan Paul. No Uncle Howdy, but yet another teaser and a little bit of controversy in the King of the Ring finals. We're going to get to that right now, right here on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. It delivered, I think, in what it needed to deliver with the WWE. I got one wrong, I think, in my predictions on this, which was the men's King of the Ring. I had the Randy Orton down to win it, which he actually ended up didn't. But let's get into the matches first. Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan. The Liv Morgan Revenge Tour has come full circle now as Liv wins and dethrones Becky and becomes a new women's champion. However, we have spoken about the Judgment Days or Liv's involvement in the Judgment Day, about potentially taking that away from Rhea. And this match was actually good. Becky Lynch was a Peaky Blinder. She came out looking like a Peaky Blinder. Liv Morgan coming out looking like Britney Spears did about 30 years ago. And the match itself was really good. But on the pre-show, on the pre-show before the pay-per-view started, Dominic Mysterio come out and said that, as Liv was talking for a pre-match interview, that he had traveled all the way to Saudi Arabia to ensure that she did not leave with the title. That backfired miserably. Damian Priest even tweeted about it afterwards. He threw the chair into the middle of the ring that allowed a bit of referees to get involved and what have you, and Liv hit the Oblivion to pick up the victory and win the women's championship off receiving Becky Lynch. Now, this plays into a lot of parts that we've been talking about on Raw recently. We've seen the bits on Raw where Liv Morgan has followed Dominic into a room and she's done photo shoots with Dominic's pink bandana in her pocket. She come out of an SUV with Finn Balor recently. And it's all bodes into the fact that potentially Liv Morgan is either splitting up the Judgment Day or they're going to kick Rhea Ripley out potentially of the Judgment Day. And she will have her bit. That's her revenge at Rhea because Rhea was the one that injured her in the first place. So a lot of interesting components to Liv winning the title. And actually, I think it was great. We all kind of know that Becky was champion because Rhea got injured. And I think this probably would have been when Rhea would have lost the title anyway. If you look at what's been going on Raw, I think that all would have still panned out that way. If Rhea was champion, it still would have pounded out that way. However, Liv Morgan is now the women's world champion and still has some control, I think, in the Judgment Day. We'll find out more Monday what the next plan is in there. I think we'll get a better idea on Monday. Incidentally, Becky Lynch has her rematch on Monday. That was confirmed later on in the pay-per-view that she had said in her contract she's got a rematch clause. She was going to speak to Adam Pearce. And it looks as though that match will be taking place on Monday. So we'll have a greater idea of the developing storyline with Liv Morgan, the Judgment Day, and of course her rematch with Becky Lynch this coming Monday. Three guys that tore the house down at King of the Ring. Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed. They delivered an incredible triple threat match. Now, interesting point on this, when Chad Gable was coming out, he sent Maxine Dupree to the back, didn't want her at ringside, wanted Otis at ringside. Otis, who apologized for hitting Sami Zayn, I think it was last week on Raw. So Chad Gable brought him down. When Bronson Reed was coming out, another QR code played, and it was about an internet connection. It dials up, and there was a big picture of what looks to be Uncle Howdy in the background. Not sure when this debut is going to happen. I think, judging by people on socials, they've been getting a little bit agitated that he's not debuted already, or he didn't debut at King and Queen of the Ring, and people are lost interest, blah, blah. Look, it's going to happen at some point. It's going to be a big reveal. I did actually tweet out whether you guys think that the hype will actually be better than the reveal. And I think 63% of you said yes, it would be. But there was another QR code. It sets up shows another video. So if you do get a chance on there to go on the internet, go on and have a look at it. So it starts with a dial-up connection and it does a load of other good pointers. There's another picture of what seems to be Uncle Howdy. Sami Zayn had another incredible entrance, like he always does when he comes over to Saudi Arabia to do these shows. the match itself was, well, anything with Chad Gable in it anyway is going to be great, but Bronson Reed and Sami Zayn showed up. The biggest talking point out of this match, apart from a brilliant Blue Thunder bomb that Sami gave Bronson Reed, was near the end of the match. Otis pulled out Bronson Reed to the floor. Chad Gable threw out Sami Zayn and asked Otis to hit Sami Zayn. Originally, he didn't, and then Chad Gable then pushed Otis, slapped him around the face, and then held Sami up and said, "Hit him, hit him, hit him." Otis went to hit Sami Zayn, but hit Master Gable instead as Sami Zayn moved out of the way, rolled into the ring and hit the Helluva Kick on Bronson Reed to pick up the victory and to retain the Intercontinental Championship. As I say, what was a fantastic match. Afterwards, you get a shot of Sami Zayn holding up the Intercontinental Championship, and you get this other shot on the outside of Chad Gable literally staring a hole through Otis. That split is definitely coming. And as we mentioned on the Raw review, potentially there is works for the Creed brothers to join Chad Gable in a new faction, which I think will be absolutely tremendous, by the way, should that happen. And I'm hoping that it does, maybe as early as Monday on Raw. Who knows? We will find out on Monday or Tuesday for us in the UK for sure. But Sami Zayn retains. What's next for Sami Zayn? I mean, he hasn't. Yeah, this is a difficult one. Who is next for Sami Zayn? You could arguably put Braun Breaker straight in there. Does Sami Zayn need an additional feud before like a big one? It's a weird one as to where this goes and who it goes to and who's next in line. Because there hasn't really been anyone vying for the Intercontinental other than Gable, really. Bronson Reed come in quite late in the day, but there hasn't been anyone really sort of staking the claim for Intercontinental Championship. So it will be interesting to see who's next for Mr. Zayn. The Queen of the Ring finals, Lyra Valkyria versus Nia Jax. Listen, Nia Jax picks up the victory, wins the match, goes on to face whoever the women's champion is on SmackDown at SummerSlam. Now, it's looking ever likely that it's going to be Piper Niven against Bayley at Clash at the Castle because on SmackDown, Bayley beat Chelsea Green. Piper Niven interrupted that match and laid out Bayley afterwards with some really stiff. It was like a crossbody. There was a couple of sentons afterwards, and she come out and said, "The next time we clash, I'm taking your title." So there's a hint there. Clash at the Castle is 3 weeks away. There is a big match that's been announced for that, which I'll get to in a minute. But Nia Jax and Lyra Valkyria delivered a really solid match, actually. There was some bit of funny moment in it when Nia Jax dropped her, went for like the bomb that she did, the Annihilator off the top, off onto the outside of the, the hardest part of the ring, and Valkyria missed, so she landed butt first. We thought we was going to get another my hole moment, but she was like, she literally just said, "That hurt," which was quite funny. But Lyra carried him very well in this match, and the ending was brutal. She It was like a jumping annihilator at the end to pick up the victory. There was a lot of times where she was going for it, and Valkyria would kept going out of it, drop kicking and stuff like that. But when she did hit it, Corey Graves like leapt off his seat. He was like he's hit the roof of the building that they was in Saudi Arabia. It was a fantastic and bit emotional Nia Jax as well at the end of that, which was quite interesting. As Triple H presented her with the Queen's crown, she got quite choked up about that. Interesting. But nevertheless, big victory for Nia Jax, and she goes on to SummerSlam. So I'm assuming it's going to be Bayley, and that goes nicely. That brings us all the way back to the NXT days when Bayley was champion at NXT and Nia Jax had just come in. Bayley, I think, beat Nia Jax in the end at NXT TakeOver UK with the one I was at. But it's going to rekindle NXT memories potentially at SummerSlam, assuming Piper Niven doesn't pick up the victory at Clash at the Castle. But Nia Jax is Queen of the Ring, and congratulations to Nia. Now, in the pre-show, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair successfully defended the women's tag team champions ships against Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. Now, what happened there was on SmackDown, Bianca lost to Nia Jax, as you obviously can tell. She lost to Nia Jax. It was Annihilator on that one, actually. He was playing on the leg injury. And at the end, when Bianca was getting attended to backstage, Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae come over, started basically antagonizing her, and Jade Cargill come over and basically said, we'll settle this in the ring, which they did. And actually, again, even more improvement from Jade Cargill in the ring. She's getting a lot better. They do a really good finisher now, which was like she grabs her and like, I can't remember what the move is, but then Bianca hits a DDT and then she throws her over the back for the victory, and that's how they won the match. But Jade Cargill's getting a lot better in the ring again. She's heavily improving. Obviously, with Bianca there, she's always going to be better, and it's always going to look better anyway. But Bianca and Jade pick up the victory. Not sure who's really going to stop them. I'm sure at one point there'll be a turn, probably from Jade Cargill, and we'll eventually get to Bianca and Jade in a wrestling match, which I'll be really looking forward to seeing. It may take some time to get there, maybe even SummerSlam, another 3 months or so away. We could get it then, which will be a very, very good and interesting match that Jade would have to take on one against one of the best that WWE has to offer in Bianca Belair. So interesting for that. But they pick up the victory, and they still are the tag team champions, which moves us on really nicely to the men's King of the Ring. Gunther and Randy Orton. If you remembered, Randy Orton, I did say this match had a bit of controversy, and the controversy was at the end of the match. Randy had hit 2 RKO's by the end of this match. And as he went to the cover of the second one, his knee's been hurting. There was the big story. He was selling the knee brilliant. He was selling the knee, selling the back. I mean, Gunther chopped the living crap out of him at one point. A massive welt on Randy's chest. But Randy Orton selling in this was absolutely incredible. As Randy Orton hit the second RKO, he went for the cover, and Gunther kind of nipped the leg to kick out and then rolled him up in like a crucifix. And as he had done it in the crucifix, Orton's shoulder was way up, right in front of the referee, who just counted to 1, 2, 3. And Gunther wins the King of the Ring. And that was the surprise for me. I was expecting Randy Orton to go on and win King of the Ring, face Cody at SummerSlam. However, assuming Cody won the main event, of course. But, but they've gone with Gunther, which is a very interesting choice. Gunther wins, gets the crown himself. And now you wonder, where's that going to be? Who's he going to go against, sorry, at SummerSlam? And it brings us really nicely around to the big announcement that was made by Triple H. Shortly after that match with Randy Orton, he's confirmed that Drew McIntyre was medically cleared. And as promised, Drew would get the rematch or the match for the World Heavyweight Championship in 3 weeks at Clash of the Castle in Glasgow, not Glasgow, America, it's Glasgow, Scotland, in 3 weeks' time, in June the 15th. Now, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, the winner, will go on to face Gunther at something. They've got Money in the Bank before that, though, haven't they? The Money in the Bank's in Canada in July, so they may not necessarily face Gunther, the winner of that, but nevertheless, that's got huge implications. Punk said he's going to be at Clash of the Castle when he wants to fight. Does Punk cost Drew the title again? And then perhaps maybe Damian loses it at Money in the Bank before they go to Gunther. I'm sure they're going to want the Gunther match at SummerSlam to mean something. Could Gunther dethrone Damian Priest at SummerSlam potentially and win the championship? And, he was an incredible Intercontinental champion for over a year. He's done some great, great things. So I think it's probably time for Gunther to win the Intercontinental Championship. Sorry, not the World Championship comes SummerSlam time. But who he faces remains to be seen. So a big match made for Clash at the Castle. Expect more fallout from that on Monday Night Raw this week, which will be very interesting to see the route they go, because Damian Priest did cut like a face promo last time. So be very interesting to see where they go with that. But nevertheless, Gunther, men's King of the Ring, he will face whoever at SummerSlam, or the champion at SummerSlam. And that will be decided potentially in 3 weeks' time, a Clash of the Castle with Drew McIntyre going one-on-one with Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. The main event of the show was obviously Cody Rhodes going one-on-one with Logan Paul. And it was a really good match. It totally delivered. Logan Paul always gives you a brilliant match, no matter whether you like the guy or not. Logan has been brilliant for WWE. This match was only for Cody's title. Remember, it wasn't for both championships. That was on SmackDown 2 weeks ago when Logan said, no, it's for the first, only the one championship. So Logan Paul against Cody Rhodes was only for the Cody's championship. He had a special ring announcer, someone, I think some superstar in Saudi Arabia. I couldn't remember his name, to be quite honest. Match was really good. There was use of the brass knucks. Yes, there was brass knuckles. Logan Paul's prime friends brought it out. I thought he was going to get into it with Michael Cole at one point during there when he used the brass knucks to spare set. Michael Cole was jumping up, going, "You're a moron! What are you doing, cheating?" And Logan Paul was coming over to the announce table. Corey Graves had to stand up and get in his way to prevent him from going to Michael Cole. Nevertheless, the match did have a really good frog splash actually from Logan Paul, and the camera work at it was brilliant. I mean, we say about how when Kevin Dunn has left and the camera work and how it's changed on the WWE, it's certainly changed for the better, that's for sure. And Logan Paul delivered a fantastic frog splash in this, but that special guest ring announcer did get involved in the end of this match. He pulled Logan Paul away from potentially beating Cody Rhodes, pulled him out of the ring, allowing Cody to regain advantage. I'm not a fan of this, and I wasn't a fan when Tyson Fury knocked out Austin Theory at Clash at the Castle when he was costing him the chance to cash in the Money in the Bank. And I'm not a fan of what happened. Logan Paul getting it pulled out of the ring by this guy. Cody hit an amazing vertebrator on Logan Paul as well. I hadn't seen one of them in years, but he hit a vertebrator. But the guy, the Saudi Arabian guy, pulls out Logan Paul. Cody Rhodes comes back and hits his crossroads, probably three of them like he normally does it, and gets the victory and retains the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm not really worried. I'm not bothered that Cody retained. That was, you kind of knew it was happening anyway. It didn't really make a difference that Cody had retained, but I wasn't keen on the amount of distractions in this match. I don't think it needed it. These two guys were incredible athletes. They put on a great match. It didn't need the amount of interference, and it got. But there you go. It happened. And there's nothing more you can really say about it other than it happened. Cody Rhodes retains, and now we will see what's next for Cody. A lot of people have been complaining about the booking of him since champion. I am very much in agreement that I'm not quite sure if the WWE even know how to book Cody Rhodes as champion, because it seems that these first two opponents have been rushed. They've delivered great matches. Don't get me wrong, Cody and AJ was fantastic. Logan Paul and Cody was fantastic, but the booking of Cody as champion has been questionable, to say the least. But we'll hopefully find out on SmackDown who Cody Rhodes' next opponent will be. The pay-per-view itself was really good. I enjoyed the majority of it. In 3 weeks' time, we have yet another pay-per-view, which is going to be Clash at the Castle. So Cody will have an opponent for that. We know one of the matches already is Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. We'll be expecting a lot more. They've only got a short space of time before the next PLE, so they've really got to deliver 3 big weeks of television to get a match card together for Glasgow, not Bow, America, Scotland. So we'll have to watch out with bated breath this week for Raw and SmackDown and everything else. But we'll be back on the channel with more reviews. Double or Nothing is tomorrow night. AEW, we should be reviewing that Monday or Tuesday next week. NWA reviews, Raw reviews, SmackDown review will be back this week. Apologies it didn't happen. I was all in good faith to do it, but I didn't get around to doing it today. But that'll be back next week as well. We hope you will be too. And until next time, everybody, buckle down and stay safe.